Hi dear viewers, subscribers and everyone else. Today is once again Meghan's turn because God alone knows the devil is in the details and very little makes sense at the moment. Today I'm begging for your patience because my correspondence is in a mess and my head is in an even greater mess. I can't seem to concentrate and get things in proper chronological order. I guess I am a little overstressed, a little overtired, but I'm going to do my best. Okay, so once again, let's start with the Harkle children. Now look, I'm at a point where I don't know what to say or do anymore. I fully intended to write to Buckingham Palace again and send all my and your questions with regards to the Harkle children to them once again. But I promise you, I received about 50 email and DMs from people who, like I've done before, had written to Buckingham Palace and who, like me, have not even received an acknowledgement of receipt of their letters. So what would be the point for a South African to go to all the trouble and expense of sending a whole document via email to Britain when British citizens have already done so, some more than once? I chatted online to a lady who had asked some very legitimate questions and had done so very professionally and decently. So what more can I say or do? Yet I'm still receiving email and DMs and I'm still as frustrated as everyone else that the Crown is just blatantly ignoring legitimate questions. I mean, if there is nothing to hide, then what would be easier than to put an end to all these rumors by simply opening the public records, which are still sealed? Easy peasy. Maybe the royal family can't arrange or force the same for Lily in the United States. But remember, the United Kingdom courts are not called His Majesty's Court, His Majesty's Justice for nothing. And the King is indeed also head of the Church of England. So one word from him and all the public records will be available to the public. End of story. But let's stop complaining because clearly no one is listening, or, as in the case with the titles for the children, ignoring the issue until it is too late. So instead, let's move on. There is a woman I regularly correspond with, and I wish I could show you her credentials, but due to her career and social standing, I can't, and I won't expose her in any shape or form, but just take my word for it. She is a professional in the medical field and knows more about DNA, genes, and everything medical and biological than most of us. So yesterday we again had a discussion about the Harkle children, and basically it just started off with a discussion about the titles. But once again, our conversation ended in talking about the scientific or biological part of it. Now, whether I'm right or wrong, I have always stood by my original thought, namely that Archie was born from a surrogate, but with both Meghan and Harry's DNA. And of course, I have reasons for believing this. One being that Meghan's father said she collected her eggs from Toronto. And secondly, because Archie has the same eye condition as Meghan, namely the slight squint. But most of all, no one, not the palace or the Harkles, have done anything to prove us wrong on the surrogacy issue. However, my friend, my very educated, learned friend, completely disagrees with me. In her opinion, Archie likely does not have Meghan's DNA either, and she has her reasons based on her education and observations. Having done even more homework on Lily, she is practically willing to bet that Lily does not have Meghan's DNA. And if they told the truth, and Lily has blonde or light hair and blue eyes, then my friend would have been prepared to come out in public and openly dispute Lily's DNA if it wasn't for her own profession and social standing. Now, I have been through the statistics of the DNA. I have given the probabilities, and a lot of it came from my friend and, of course, Mr. Google. So I'm not going to go into it all again. However, suffice it to say, we started or diverted the conversation to the whys and what ifs. Why did King Charles allow these children to get these titles? He could have stopped it. He could have prevented it. No matter what anybody says, the king is the king, the monarch, the sovereign. And when it comes to royal titles, he can basically do what he wants to do. Simpler than that, I can't possibly put it. And that too was verified by a number of people directly involved with the monarchy, and not just from a little old lady in South Africa. So why didn't he? So many people are coming up with so many stories and excuses, the main one being that by announcing that they are accepting royal titles for their children and that it is their birthright, they had put the king in a difficult position. Had he put a stop to it then and said no, he would have looked petty, and Meghan could have accused him of racism again. Well, I personally don't buy that excuse. Firstly, Charles is not racist. He may be many other things, but racist is not one of them. And there is enough proof in the media, in his background, and in his past to prove it. So in that sense, he has nothing to fear. Secondly, there is no such thing as birthright, not legally anyway. According to the United Nations Convention of the Rights of the Child, the 4 basic rights for children around the world are the child's right to survival, the child's right to protection, the child's right to development, and the child's right to participation. I think the Harkles, Harry and Meghan, are reading it all wrong. A child's right to survival means, according to the International Charter, family care, parental care, or appropriate alternative care, basic nutrition, shelter, health care, and social services. A child's right to protection means to be protected from maltreatment, neglect, abuse, and degradation, not Met Police protection, IPP status, and all the shit they are actually demanding for themselves and their children. A child's right to development means a child's well-being, education, physical and mental health, and spiritual, moral, and social development. It does not mean having a British royal title. And lastly, a child's right to participation also does not mean a title or attending the coronation at 1 and 4 years old, which I personally think would be overwhelming for such young children, and I personally would rather see that as a form of abuse. But anyway, a child's right to participation means that a child has the right to partake in healthy activities and to protect him or herself, and the right to be part of a productive and healthy family environment and society. So, no, international law does not state that the Harcourt children have a right to a royal title and participation in royal events. End of story. So why didn't King Charles prevent these children getting their titles? I don't know. I have my ideas and feelings, but I can't prove it. So I guess until the truth comes out, it's up to each of us to have our own opinion and beliefs. But what if, and we discussed the ifs, what if at some point in the future the truth does come out? What would that do to King Charles's reign? So why on earth is he prepared to take that chance to put the monarchy in danger and in a precarious position by allowing the Harkles to use these royal titles for their children? That's another question I cannot answer. Not for sure, not for definite. I have my opinion, I have my feelings, but I cannot give you a definite answer. Anyway, so shortly after the announcement of the children's titles, we had Meghan doing her pap walk on Women's Day. Now, seeing that it was Women's Day, why is no one talking about how Meghan treated those two young women with her? This is not the first time we saw Meghan with female personnel. Now, answer me this. Why do these women always look like they came from living on the streets? Look at this young woman with Meghan, walking with her head down, or at least trying to cover her face with her hair, looking absolutely unkempt and awkward. Why? Is Meghan telling them to dress down in fear that their appearance will overshadow hers? What the heck is going on? This is not a good look, is it? If she fears that, why not tell them to always wear a black pantsuit in public? However, I think it's not only that, but Megsy is once again trying to emulate Catherine, but does not quite get it. You see, we have seen Catherine at more informal events with female protection officers, and often they are casually dressed, particularly when it's like an impromptu visit. But they are still neat, hair tied back, etc. But the main difference is the interaction between the principal and the employee. In Catherine's case, it is unobtrusive and casual and overall friendly and accepting, whereas in Meghan's case, there is the clear distinction between master and slave. The other issue is that Meghan does not get it. She's totally unable to read the room, the atmosphere. She's awkward, elitist, narcissistic, and it shows, and it showed again on Women's Day. You see, her deeds on Women's Day were actually good. She took some of her female staff to visit a women's shelter called Harvest Home. They created a pop-up baby boutique, and again an idea taken from Catherine, but still a good and helpful idea. Then she hosted a lunch and made a donation to the organization. Honestly, all good. Had she stayed humble, had she been less self-aware, had she not made sure that her all-black ensemble, all black for lunch, consisted out of a Max Mara cashmere coat worth $5,990, Valentino glasses worth $364, a black and white Chanel bag worth $6,400, $400 and Valentino mules at $770. She has no social awareness. Yes, we know, and I'm sure everyone at the venue knew that she is a duchess and likely has money, but it is classless and common to flaunt it. She's obviously unable to comprehend that the handbag alone can sponsor at least 2 or 3 of the women in the shelter. For Meghan, these charitable endeavors are not about the charity. It is about Meghan. It is about an opportunity for her to be seen, to get into the newspapers, or at least she makes it seem or look like that is indeed her goal. And talking about that, please don't believe she was packed. There was only one photographer there, and she was very friendly towards him, waving and interacting with him. So obviously that was someone informed about where she would be and when, and obviously was likely sent there. And that, my dear friends, is why Meghan Markle comes across as a narcissist and why she does not appear to be big-hearted or genuine. Okay, and regardless of the astronomical cost of her outfit, and regardless of the fact that Meghan Markle does not know that one does not wear all black to an informal lunch, once again she has to prove to us that she has no idea of style or how to present herself, and that neatness can make any outfit look better. The jersey top looks old and washed 100 times. The very expensive coat was open and flapping everywhere and looked sloppy. Those white sailboat mules on her rather big feet are just plain ugly. And don't get me started on that oily bun. Anyway, folks, I also think that this pap walk was basically just a reaction to the South Park skit and likely a reaction to all the negativity coming from the UK with regards to the possible attendance of the coronation. We all know Meghan at this point. She likes to make an appearance and rub our faces in it. So likely she was out there laughing at us, thinking, there you go, you can say what you want, but my children still got those titles. They are prince and princess, and you are not. I can do what I want and still get what I want. I mean, that's what her attitude, her smug smile, actually told me. That's how I feel. Don't know about you, but that is the body language, the aura that Meghan Markle presents. Okay, my dear friends, that's it from me for today. I'll see whether I'll still be able to put up a nice, funny short for you, which I have been working on for a while. But if I run out of time, then I'll see you again tomorrow. So until then, please take good care of yourselves. Bye.